Hello, everyone. My name is Roy, your local Splatoon interview addict. I'm here joined with SPF Dark. Dark, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, it is I, SPF Dark, the one and only. You may have heard me across multiple times throughout a lot of different commentary blocks across a lot of the different orgs we have here in the scene. But yeah,
So, kind of take me through that. How did you first start getting into commentary?
that actually is a funny story, and I don't think I actually told anyone this, actually, like, in depth as to my story as to how I got into commentary, but it started back in, like, around the first year in Splatoon 3. I used to, for context, I used to actually, like, competitively play the game for a short while.
Mhm.
I quickly found out that I was not up to speed to do that, nor did I have the time to do that since I was working, and I've been working since then. So I was like, I don't have the time to actually like sit down and play the game consistently like that and try to improve and climb the ladder and whatnot. So let me try and find something to do instead. Because for me, I've been in the, I've relatively been around the scene since the first game,
Mhm.
like 10 years ago. Like I've been watching things, I've been eyeballing things, and I want to do my part at the community. And with Splatoon 3 launching, I was like, this is my time that I really want to like actively really take part in the community. And first it was competitive, but I was like, didn't pan out well. And I was just kind of poking, see what else I could do. And one of my friends, who was still in college at the time, was like, hey, um, there's this org that does Splatoon stuff. They're looking for commentary. Do you wanna maybe me and you run a thing and see how we do? And I was like, sure. So we joined. We got brought on and sort of like what's the word? I forget the word. We got onboarded and we got quickly thrown onto the mic. And our first times on the mic really was like, people don't really you can't really go into it like expecting like to do great and whatnot. I didn't expect going into expecting great or whatever, but it was just like just very very rough. I haven't even took the time to go back in there and watch any of the old footage. I'm pretty sure stuff because but I'm pretty sure it was very rough. But they said after the block was done, they were like, you guys work well with each other, and we think you guys have a lot of potential. And I took that. I was like, okay, this seems good. Sure, I can probably keep working with it. And as time goes on, it being the org, being CCA, the Cephalopod Collegiate Association. For those of you who don't know, they run their stuff around the semester, and it was currently mid-semester when I joined, and so there was active opportunities for me to keep on working and keep on building my repertoire, so to speak. And that point on, and I would say as well, one thing I got like huge credit to, big shout outs to DRF. I don't know if he'll end up watching this or end up listening to this, but it is DRF's own reasoning, own will as to why I'm here, because he told me and my friend back then that we had potential, and if we stuck to this, we could potentially be very good, or not very like good on sense of like, top of the line, headlining every single event, whatnot, right? But like we had potential. We could do like actually be decent commentators, and because he told me that on after my first block, I was like, okay, if this person I hardly know thinks that I could do something with it, let me stick with it. And so I did more stuff with CCA. I eventually worked my way into Dapple Productions, did more stuff with there. Then I think a few months later, the Ludi season kicked off, and I was able to do some work there. Fast forward a few years, I joined Under Pressure. I joined IPL, and I'm like literally in a lot of the big organization servers for their production and constantly taking things as I can. I think I gotta like really like grind the numbers one of these days, but I'm pretty sure I might be one of the most active commentators in this scene right now in terms of just constantly on a weekly basis. You'll probably hear me on the mic somewhere.
I think I resonate a lot there with like all it really takes sometimes is one person telling you,
Hmm.
"Hey, I think you might be good at this. Like I think you
Hmm.
have potential here." To kind of like to overcome that like tiny bit of self-doubt that you have in your head and like release a little demon that's like, yeah, I could be good at this.
Yeah, no, because it's like I've come from a history of performing arts. I've a lot of my stuff that I do, I take in the angles of how I learned how to like improve stuff back when I was in middle school and high school, and I'm always like someone trying to like constantly refine my craft, constantly trying to figure out like if this is something I can like actively half decently do, and those words DRF told me really kickstarted it all here. And if you would have told me at this point, like 3 years ago, maybe about 4 years ago, I forget exactly the exact year Splatoon 3 came out, but however long ago it was, whenever I first got into on that CCA block and told me I would have been on Riptide main stage on day two commentating, I genuinely wouldn't think that that path was there. It was just an insane. Looking back on my path, it's just an insane thing that I'm like so lucky and so honored to have been actively given these chances and these opportunities to do work for.
I think, yeah, like you can. It's so hard to see it when you're starting out, but I think
Mm-hmm.
like at a certain point you got to kind of realize like, hey, I am one of the most active commentators in the scene. Hey, I am putting in the work. Like I do deserve these
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you said, it just really takes one person to really try things out. And I hear so many stories of people like wanting to try things out or like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can do it. And there was like a post going around on social media a little while ago where it's like you know the circle where like there's two circles, the one that's like looks like really badly drawn and the other one looks like a lot more cleaner, a lot better.
Mhm.
I think the message of the post was like, it doesn't exist until you do it, and then once it's out there, you can make it better. And
Yeah,
that's kind of resonated in me in these past few weeks since then, because it was that point where I took the moment of reflection where I was like, the path I've been on really is just that. I went out there, I did a thing. I didn't know if it was going to be something I was going to stick to, but I did it anyways. And look at the path I've been on since there. And it's part of the things that I'm like always trying to push people. Like, if there's something you want to do, if there's something out there you want to give it a shot, do it, because the only thing you lose really is just the time. And if it's just a one-time shot, like, oh, like if for commentary example, right, if it's just like a commentary block that you want to try and see if maybe it's something you're interested in, it's just 2 hours. 2 hours of your time really isn't anything in the grand scheme of things. If you like it, you have a lot more opportunities to move on and go forward. And if you don't like it, well, you tried it and you figured that out.
for sure. I think you just got to make it exist first. You can make it good later.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Mm-hmm.
is the phrase that I hear a lot in terms of that. Um, and I especially relate right now because that I'm kind of at that stage with like this like interview thing that I got going on where
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know how long I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm really enjoying it right now, so I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm making it. I just did it. I'm not thinking about
Yeah.
it. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, no, it's very fun because I've been seeing you like on Blue Sky in the past few days, like just doing it. I'm like, yeah, you do your thing and show like and do the thing that you enjoy, because I could tell that you have a lot of fun with this, and it's also part of the reason why I wanted to reach out and reached out whenever you did like the big wide calling. So I was like, you enjoy the thing you're doing, I enjoy the thing I'm doing. We could do something here.
That post, by the way, oh my god! Like I'm having to deal. I genuinely have a list of 13 people. Like I've had to start DMing people saying like, "Hey, I am really interested. This isn't me saying I'm not interested. I just have too many
Mhm.
people. I'm really sorry. It might take a week before I get back to you."
I mean, honestly, for someone who's like just barely kickstarting a project for the first time, or at least a project like this for the first time, it's kind of a good problem to have. I've seen a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
projects, just like where the people they're starting to get traction and whatnot. But you were lucky enough to like hit the ground running with all this, and I'm like nothing but like what's the word? Proud of you for what you've
Oh,
managed to
thank
do
you.
so far.
Yeah, I think definitely being able to leverage like already existing kind of platform that I had built through
Hmm.
like being semi known in the community for stronghold work or
Hmm.
whatever. It helped a lot in just like getting the reach out there. Um,
Hmm.
I think it goes to show that like what matters isn't that you're necessarily good at a certain thing. It's that you're just putting yourself out there. Like
Yes.
if I had never applied for Stronghold, if I had never started writing guides or articles or like all of the random miscellaneous work I've done at Stronghold over the last like god year and a half I've been there now.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have built up all the connections that I had through
Hmm.
that, and people wouldn't have seen my post, and people wouldn't have replied
Hmm.
being like, "Hell yeah, I'd love to be interviewed." Put yourself out there, and then
Yeah.
it'll snowball. And no matter what you do, you'll have those connections. You'll have that reputation. You'll have that vibe that people are down to give you a shot to try you out.
Hmm. Yeah, no, exactly, and that specifically well dates back to me back when I first like started playing the games too. You know, back in Splatoon 1 era, there hotly after the game released, there was a tournament posting that I saw that I was just vaguely interested in doing. I didn't expect to do well. You know, I was like 14 at the time. You know, middle ending middle school, heading to high school. I forget the exact timing of it all, but somewhere in that time, I there's no way me in the middle of nowhere is gonna be a top player, right? But I was like, you know, let me give it a shot, and it is through that initial posting that's got me in this position in the first place because I met a few friends there that we stuck long after we gave our runnings to the tournament, and because of that, I stayed relatively connected to the community, seeing things grow, seeing everything happen, and it just has been a ride watching everything happen. And because of that, just constant connection with the community from one way or another, I was able to like not necessarily work myself into like the madness, but know how to put myself out there in order to make the connections I need to do the things I want to do.
For sure. I think you can only. I think you like anyone can join the scene and make an impact really quickly.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
think the longer you stay, the more people you know, the the more you sit and observe and see how things work, the
Hmm.
better set up you are to actually like hop in and start contributing, whether it be in a small way, like I don't know, like what I'm doing with these little interviews where I'm just uploading a little 20-minute thing, or
Hmm.
whether you're like TOing massive tournaments. We all have to start somewhere. So
Yeah.
I think it's really important that people like understand that all the time that they spend in the community they can leverage to do cool things, but that doesn't
Hmm.
mean that if you have no like experience with anything in the community that you're worthless and you have to wait and like no, do something to
Hmm.
reach out to people.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm seeing that message out a lot recently too. Just reach out, see who is wanting to do what, because more often than not, there's someone out there who's also wanting to do the thing you are. Like, for example, for me specifically, you know, I have experience with commentary and some experience with just like watching broadcasts and whatnot, but I've just been eyeing to do something else for a while now, and it wasn't until a few months ago where I saw a posting from someone saying talking about a potential land in the state I'm in, right? And if it wasn't for that posting and for me actually like following up and reaching out to them, the current land we have set up that's going to be premiering soon in January, Don't Flounder at the Function, wouldn't have existed. It's amazing how crucial like just a simple like, hey, does anyone want to help me want to do this, or hey, who would be interested in doing this, can really just affect a lot of things.
Absolutely. Avid viewers of the unnamed Roa cast may be familiar with John Flounder at the Function from the Z interview.
Hmm.
Could you fill us in a little about your role there and how you're helping out with that project?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Z mentioned Don't Flounder the Function beforehand, so I'll just give a brief overview of what it is right now. Don't Flounder the Function at the Function is North Carolina's Splatoon 3 LAN event that's gonna be held in January. Um, the in terms of roster, who we have for the TLs, it's me, the one and only SPF Dark, obviously, right? But we also have Jokera, we have Z, we have Sama, and we have JJ, who are all like not necessarily like you know pop gun levels of name, right? But there's someone. All of them are someone, and it just amazes me that we got all the experience here in North Carolina, no less, But as for what I'm doing, other than just like the standard, like helping out, like getting things like put together, organized, venue checking, trying to get like what's it called, information lined up and all that stuff. Me specifically, as well as Sama, we're tag teaming this. We're going to be focusing more on the broadcasting side of things and the production side of things. There's nothing guaranteed yet right now, but our we do want to hit the ground running with the first time with a stream, and that's what we're sort of headwaying here out the gate.
Super cool. I always love to hear local communities kind of building up a LAN from the ground up to create something new. Because there's
Hmm.
always like it's always nice to see like these consistent LANs that have been running for years and they're always coming up and they're always coming back because there's passionate people behind it. But it always makes me
Hmm.
really happy when you see like things sprout up from the ground and they hit the ground running and there's a big like driving force behind it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been very fun, and I'm very excited to see this actually come to fruition. I mean, obviously, our first run isn't going to be perfect, but no first run's ever perfect. So we kind of have our expectations tempered in that end, but we definitely do want to try and make a big splash for the first one, and just make this an event that at least everyone who comes to it or watches it, if things do line up on that end, can actually like enjoy it on one way or another. Because for me specifically, I don't know about the others, but for me specifically, Lance has always been such an important thing for me. Coming from Riptide and then going to LTC a few times as well, it's just that's just I feel going being at a land is just a feeling that I can't really ever get enough of, and I want to try and replicate that in some way, shape, or form in my own local area, and that's part of the one of the main driving forces actually as to why I'm like so committed to trying to get this up and running.
Hey, again, it all comes back to make it exist first. You can make it good later.
Yeah, I will say it is a bit daunting sometimes because there's just a lot of things that people don't really you really wouldn't think about that goes behind the scenes of the land, like in terms of like graphics. We need to get graphics together, equipment, where we get equipment from, how are we going to get things set up right. But we're doing our due diligence to make sure it's a smooth experience nonetheless.
Speaking of kind of lands generally, is like commentating at a LAN a very different experience than commentating uh an online tourney?
Hmm. It's very different. I'll tell you that much. I can only speak so much of it because I've only had the one opportunity at Riptide this past year to commentate at a LAN. But it is if you have like especially if you're working with someone that like you've worked with like a lot of times in the past. Like for me, for example, I've worked with Fufu a lot currently and in the past, and they're one of my good friends that I consistently talk to on the day to day. So we already have like that back and forth energy. We know exactly how to like get things rolling and keep the flow of energy and pacing moving on the mic. That really was an issue at all heading to an offline iteration of commentary. But it's just a lot of the production really was different because sitting at home looking at Discord, there's bound to be internet connection issues, and that's to fault to no one. That could be my own internet acting up, or the broadcaster's internet messing up, or it could just be Discord messing up. That happens from time to time, right? So you're never guaranteed like a proper like clean viewing of the game and of what's going on. But at Riptide, being able to have like just at 100% like high definition like monitor of the stream and the game like in front of me at all times was so good, and I want to always have access to that so much.
That and also I can imagine like just being able to actually see the players like jump up with joy at a victory,
Hmm.
like that
Hmm.
must add a lot to the commentary experience too.
Yeah, there's just only so much you can get from behind the screen in terms of commentating. There you can't really see the emotions of these teams or these players that well, simply because one, they're not in the call, but two, a lot of the emotions and how they're feeling and how what they're doing and how they're reacting, just you really can't ever get that. And so having that at a land to really fuel a lot of those bigger moments or a lot of those like more defeated moments really amplifies the story to a lot more. And it's just it really beforehand I was always like big on commentary and trying to like do as much as I can and be like someone I can like be consistently reliant on and dependable for commentary. But Riptide really just took that level and dedication I have to just a whole nother level. Like it's what made me realize like this is the thing that I truly want to be known for.
I mean, you're clearly very passionate about commentating and about Splatoon. Like,
Hmm.
where did that all come from? How did you first discover the game and find out that like, oh, this is really cool. All those you mentioned like 10 years ago you've been playing.
Hmm. Yeah. I to this day I still remember sitting down back in like 2012, 2013, when E3 was still a thing, watching the Nintendo presentation at E3 and seeing the initial teaser trailer for Splatoon. And there's no really good way, a better way of explaining it, but other than just at the moment I saw the trailer, I knew it was going to be something important to me and something that would impact me a lot. And that feeling I haven't had ever since that day to anything I've seen. I enjoy a lot of games, a lot of like different like medias and whatnot, but the feeling I had in seeing Splatoon for the first time back then, I just have not been able to get anywhere else, and it shows to this day because since that day, it was the first game I pre-ordered. It was the first game I actively like competed in and I followed in all throughout Splatoon 1's history. Splatoon 2, I kind of had a falling out because I was more focused on high school and my more final years of high school, right? And so I couldn't really be as committed to that. But once we got unfortunately got put into lockdown, I got to spend a lot more time at home. I reignited my love for the game and for the series and started following things more and just sort of like watching things bit by bit. And then lo and behold, Splatoon 3 is a real thing. And I was like, if there's an opportunity for me to actively like be a big participant of the community and be a big community member, that Splatoon 3 would be the opportunity. And I was patiently waiting for the game to come out. And the day that it did come out, I remember spending all night playing it and just looking to see like exactly what everyone else's thoughts of it, just seeing what's going to be going on in terms of the competitive scene. If it's something that I can probably do, start doing my research on that. And I mentioned already that my competitive run really was kind of short. I think I had a team for that. I think the first Ludi season of Splatoon 3, I had a team for that run for a few months, but quickly disbanded afterwards once we realized we're all just like better off going our separate ways and whatnot. I joined another team quickly after that, though. It's actually how I met Fufu through that second team, where we also had a bit of a short run for realizing, hey, we're better doing off our own things. Splatoon team moment, by the way. But after that, as I mentioned before, it's where my friend came up to me and was like, "Hey, the college scene is looking for commentators. Do you think you maybe want to try and run that a bit?" And after that, the rest really is history. You've just been doing commentary a lot consistently, keep trying to improve my craft and doing more and more things for the community. And like now, I'm at the point where like I'm doing like I'm like juggling different angles and aspects of the community. Right, I'm here doing commentary. Right, but I'm also like reaching out to people, talking to people, doing stuff for them. Like I've been on Beep a few times and here with the interviews for you. I'm running in a land here in North Carolina. Like I'm like getting I guess the best way to describe it right now is that I'm trying to like diversify my portfolio right now.
It sounds like it really was love at first sight then.
Yeah, it's like for context, I'm big on Pokemon, and I will always like love and follow Pokemon through the until like my last days on this earth. It's one of the only other media franchises that have like a long lifetime following of. But this game just like is just so near and dear to my heart, and I just there's nothing that could ever like I can ever do to in my mind's eye anyways, there's nothing I can ever do to repay all that this community has done for me, either indirectly or directly, but more so indirectly, because it's just been a lot of these connections, a lot of these friendships, and a lot of these things that I've had the lucky opportunity to do in the first place, right? Wouldn't be here if this game just simply didn't exist. You know, my one of my closest friend groups like that I talk to on a day to day since the first game came out wouldn't exist if it weren't for this game. And even though they don't play the game at all anymore since two, you know, they're still like practically family to me at this point, and it's just something that part of my driving force is why I do so much for the scene, why I do so much for the community, because I want to give back and give at least someone the opportunity to maybe have that same experience.
I can't think of a better like note to leave that on. I think you put that so incredibly well, and I resonate with that
Hmm.
so much that like this game has the power to like truly change lives. And I think that's one of those things that you either get it because you've experienced it, or you hear it
Hmm.
and you say, it's just Splatoon.
Yeah. It's peak. What can I say?
It's peak. It's like, I don't know, man. I touched a controller once back in like 2020, and I was hooked. Um, by the way, you mentioned at one point when you were like talking about your history with the game, you mentioned
Hmm.
the announcement trailer in 2014. Um,
Hmm.
you made me realize that when Splatoon was announced, I was 10 years old.
Oh God, don't say that. Don't say that, because that makes me realize. Oh God. Oh, time is a fickle thing. And I mentioned to to one of my friends in a private VC the other day. I don't remember how we got to this conversation, but I just remember saying that if I am 45 and I'm still here actively commentating the game, I would be happy with that.
Hey, I mean, Popcorn's still here.
Oh God, Papa!
Uh,
Oh no, don't bring
my
Papa
bad,
up.
chat. My bad, chat. My bad, chat. Okay. Dirk, where can the people find you if they're interested in finding more from you?
You can find me at SPF Dark at most social media websites. I repost random nonsense from time to time. I stream occasionally, but as I mentioned beforehand, more often than not, you most likely hear my voice time and time again across the multiple organizations we have here in the scene. I mean it when I say I'm literally in everywhere. Like I want you to know my commentator my commentator production server folder on Discord is bigger than my own social folder for like my friends' servers. Like I'm all over the place. But other than that, you know, as well, shout outs to Don't Flounder the Function. More information is dropping on that relatively soon about an exact date and whatnot. And that's going to be the next big thing I'm going to be handling in terms of projects.
I'll be sure to link your socials, your Blue Sky, your etc. All in the description. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a it's been a really great talk.
It's been an honor. Thank you for taking your time to do not just me, but for all the other ones you've done in the past, and for all the ones you're going to do redoing in the future. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how you can manage all that.
It's a lot. I'm definitely hitting my limit.
Hmm.
After I held myself when I uploaded the Z one, and I uploaded the Joy one the day after, and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna try and do one every day for a week. I'm just gonna see. Um, so this is the sixth one, or is this the
Ooh,
seventh one? I forget. Well, no,
you would know, not me.
this is the seventh one. This is the seventh one. Fufu's
Ah,
the
great
sixth
finisher
one.
then. Hmm.
So yeah, this is the end of 1 week, I guess, which is crazy because this really did fly. Um, but
Yeah.
it's been a really cool thing to be able to get to do.
Hmm.
And I will continue to do it. Hopefully, I don't plan on stopping.
Please don't.
But I'm not gonna do one a day. I th-
No.
I'm probably aiming for about two a week is what I think
Mhm.
I'll settle on. But we'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see how practical that is. Because I have a day job. I have like
Yeah.
a social life. There's asterisk
Mhm.
sometimes. I have
Yeah.
stronghold work. um, but long tangent over. Thank you guys so
Mhm.
much for watching. Thank you, Dirk, for thank you, Dirk, for taking the time for the call. I'll see you guys in the next one whenever I end up uploading again. Thank you guys. Bye bye.